country, it's the best in the world. That said, we of course would like to see even better take-up. At the moment, 4/5 of adults have had at least one jab and 3/5 have had 2 jabs. We are seeing many vaccine centres move into sort of walk-in vaccine centres. I visited the one at St Thomas's.
You can continue to watch Business in the House of Commons on BBC Parliament. Here we'll have the news at 1 with Jane Hill coming up in just a few moments.
An end to self-isolation for anyone in England who's had both doses of a COVID vaccine, starting in mid-August. The Health Secretary announces a new approach to dealing with people who come into contact with a positive coronavirus case.
Step by step, jab by jab, we're replacing the temporary protection of the restrictions with the long-term protection of the vaccine.
We want people to have their freedoms back, but we don't want a high-risk free-for-all. Remember the context that we are in. Infection rates, sadly, are rising again steeply. Hospitalisations are rising again. More people will die.
Well, the Health Secretary has also announced that unvaccinated under 18-year-olds who come into contact with a positive case will no longer have to self-isolate. We'll have the very latest. Also, this lunchtime, COVID-related absence among school pupils in England is the highest since students returned in March. The government is preparing to announce how to relax the rules. Vauxhall announces a £100 million investment in electric vehicles, securing more than 1,000 jobs at Ellesmere Port. Challenging the abortion laws, a woman with Down syndrome goes to the High Court, saying the rules discriminate against people like her and her husband. The artist Damien Hirst tells us he's dealt with lockdown anxiety by changing tack. No more studded skulls. Instead, he's been painting cherry blossom.
I always try to just keep reinventing myself. Yeah. My mum used to say to me, there's enough horror in the world, can't you just paint flowers? So maybe she got to me eventually.
And here at St George's Park, England's players have had their final training session ahead of tomorrow's European Championship semi-final against Denmark at Wembley.
And coming up on the BBC News Channel, it's women's quarter-final day at Wimbledon with world number 1 Ashley Barty in action. Can she get the better of Ajla Tomljanovic later this afternoon?
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the BBC News at 1. In the last half an hour, the Health Secretary Sajid Javid has said that people who've had both doses of a COVID vaccine in England will no longer have to self-isolate if they come into contact with a positive case of the virus. The change will come into force